My final principle, and probably my personal favourite, is to know your values. And what I mean by that is, what are your true values? Are you really aware of them? Do you have them written down? And are you checking in with them? Now, I actually carry my journal with me everywhere. This comes with me when I'm at home, when I'm in the office, or when I'm traveling. Literally comes with me everywhere. And at the back of my journal, I have 2 pages of values that I know are important to me. And without those values in my life, I know that I am less fulfilled, I'm less happy. And as a result of that, will often, procrastinate more, or not be making as much headway. And I'm always checking in with them. So, I'll just read off a few of the values that I have written down in no particular order. But family, and the time I spend with them, my partner, again, the time, the traveling together, being present, loving, giving, again, not just giving in charity, and those kind of things, but again, how am I giving to the family, my teams, the people around me, my community. My health, diet, exercise, but travel, being present, content and integrity, leadership, being productive, growth, fulfillment and happiness, wealth, being financially secure and independent. These are all values of mine that I know are important to me. And, over the years, some values have sort of drifted off and not been important to me anymore. Often, more of the sort of material things that I had. And whilst you might not say anything material could be a value, one of my values was my interests and hobbies. And at one time that was, high performance cars. And so, having a Aston Martin or my Lamborghini or my 911 on the drive, really sort of helped me to grow in my business, and was important to me. But over the years, that kind of thing, whilst I still have a nice car, it doesn't really impact my life all that much. And that's just one example. There are other values that are right up there, huge priorities of mine that weren't on my values list 5, 6, 7 years ago. One that springs to mind that is so important to me now is my leadership. And I'm not just talking about leadership in business. I'm talking about leadership within my family, within my relationships. And what I like to do, and this is what's important, is to constantly check in with them. Do they need adjusting? But also, something I want to share with you, which has really been helpful for me, is to create a short list of values that are serving me at the time that I need them. So, I'll give you an example. The last few years for me on a personal level have been very challenging. In particular, having lost my father and my cousin to cancer. My father within 6 months of diagnosis, my cousin within 3 months. And, that sort of thing, as many people will know, really can impact how you're feeling, your highs, your lows, months of anxiety or depression or anything else. And what I found is that through life we go through cycles, and it's inevitable. But if we're not checked in with our core values and we just let life happen to us and we don't try and correct, then we end up becoming somewhat of a victim of our circumstances. And by not knowing and being aware of your values, often it will create this environment where you have years and years and years of, periods in life of, no growth or fulfillment or happiness, or, like I say, extreme low periods. So what I do is I always look at where I'm at, maybe it's monthly or every few months, and look at where I'm out of balance, based on my values, because it's inevitable. I think anybody that says that they've sussed life out so that they're just, always in balance and have no issues and, happy with where they're at, probably unrealistic. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But for me, I know that I do go out of balance. And the quickest way for me to get back into a place of balance and flow is by checking in with those values and then focusing on the ones that are most important. So for me, beginning of 2017 as an example, I had a lot of focus on my happiness and my presence, really enjoying the moment and being present. Feeling healthy, not just being healthy, not just eating healthy or just doing the things that I know I should be doing, but really working out the things that are helping me to really feel healthy and good about myself. My leadership within my family and my business, my partner and my relationship. I know that when my relationship is on point, when it's on form, when we're growing together and supporting one another, that a lot of other things around me improve. Time with my family, I travel a lot, I'm away a lot, I'm a busy guy, and I know that if I'm not getting time with family and neglecting them or not putting the phone calls in all the time of visiting my niece or nephew, that I don't feel great about it. And these are all things that can knock us out of balance. And here, one of the things is providing value to the marketplace. Something that I hope I'm doing now is that this is why I do this kind of thing, because it's one of my values. And the point I was going to say is this, is that if you find you're in a place in life where things aren't where they need to be, intuitively that you need to do something about where you're at, one of the best things that you can do is actually prioritize your values. And I really mean put them into a priority order. Because what that enables you to do is really get yourself from a place of out of balance and back into balance and flow by an awareness around the areas of life that you're not content with. And you then make all your decisions based on whether you're meeting your needs within your values. So I'll give you one example. Let's say health is one of your biggest values, but you also know, on the other hand, like friends and socializing is another one of your values. If you know that something that is holding you back is your health, and you're not really taking care of yourself, and you put that as your number one value right now, what can happen is let's say an opportunity comes along, go out and party, go out and drink, go out and do things with your friends. If you know that right now your number one value is your health, it's a way for you to gauge whether you're making the right or wrong decision to that commitment of going out. And what I found is that when I know, and typically I only ever focus on 4 or 5 things as a priority, when I know the order of those values, anytime I've got to make a decision, anytime I'm looking to make a new commitment, I check in, takes me a few minutes to do that before I make it the wrong decision. And by getting that the right way, by making the right decision, all of a sudden, very, very quickly, you find that your life starts to get back in balance, which creates flow and then space to become a much more balanced individual, entrepreneur, leader, father, mother, whatever it might be. So that's my final principle for really creating the life that you want, is know your values.